So there's some kind of margin for us. That's how we make our money. And so what we're letting them know is like, look, we're not going to be able to pay you full retail price for your property because there's no room for it. There's no margin for us. There's no money. There's no money for us to be making in this particular transaction. And hey there, Bootstrappers, what's up? It's Ryan Nickel coming at you with another Flashcard Friday. Hey, if you like these videos and you like what the content you're getting, go ahead and click the like button and subscribe and make sure you're notified every time we post a new video, especially the flashcards. All right, so like always, every Friday we go ahead and we open these up and we pull out a new flashcard because you're just one deal away from changing your entire financial future, and these cards can help you do that. It's like having a mentor in your pocket, you know what I mean? And so, they're broken down into 4 different suits. We have not jacks, sorry, I do this every week, I always forget. So we have, spades and clubs and hearts and diamonds and all those things. But we also have broken it down into how to talk to sellers, how to talk to buyers when you're seller financing, what's some real estate math that you should know, and also, most importantly, how to market your property either for sale or to find new properties. So without any further ado, let's just go ahead and jump into this week's flashcard here. So I'm just taking them straight from the top, and we're going to rotate through these things. All right, so this first one here is some kind of margin for us. This is the king of clubs, some kind of margin for us. So I use this when I'm talking to a seller, and let me just go ahead and just jump into this for you. So use this when a seller asks if you're going to give them a lowball offer. I say, we cannot pay full market value for your property. There needs to be some kind of margin in it for us. But we will make up the difference in speed and convenience. Knowing this, is there any reason for us still to talk about your property and your situation? So, a lot to unpack in this one. So let's go ahead and digest this. So there's some kind of margin for us. That's how we make our money. And so what we're letting them know is like, look, we're not going to be able to pay you full retail price for your property because there's no room for it. There's no margin for us. There's no money. There's no money for us to be making in this particular transaction. And so, and this is usually after you have like a for sale by owner, someone who's just really sick and tired of just getting lowball offers. They're going to ask you that, like, look, man, you're just trying to lowball me. You just want to steal my property. And this is where we're like, you know what? We can't offer you full market value for the property. There has to be some kind of market for us. But what we do is we make up for that in speed and convenience. If you're open to that, is there a reason for us to continue to talk? And just sit and listen, see what they have to say. So I didn't actually use this specific phrase, there's no margin in it for us, but I did use this card yesterday. So yesterday I went and looked at a FSBO. And this particular house, the guy has let it sit vacant for a number of years. He remodeled it in 2006. It's a 2-1. And what he did was he tore down the old garage and made a huge, nice 2-car garage and then added a bonus room on the back. So it has he calls it his man cave. It's just this huge a studio is what he calls it too. Huge room. It's like 420 square feet. It's 21 by 20 square feet. And he has a bathroom in it, and then it's wired and plumbed for a kitchenette. So he has a 220 for a stove, and then he has the plumbing there for like a sink and things like that. Anyway, so he's trying to sell this property, even though it's not a full-on ADU, an accessory dwelling unit is what we call those here in California. It's not a full ADU, but he wants to reap the benefit of it. He wants to maximize his dollars as much as possible. And so in talking to the guy, he's like, look, you know what? I think I'm pretty spot on with my price. This is what I'm thinking. And I want to, get the value for the plumbing that's there. I'm like, yeah, I don't blame you. I'd want to do the same thing too. However, there's just not enough room for us to do anything with it. Those are the words that I use. So I didn't say that, I need some kind of margin. I just said there's not enough room for us to do anything, because what's going to happen is we're going to have to come in here and we're going to go ahead and we're going to have to, permit this kitchen. We're going to have to permit this process. Even though the plumbing and electrical are already there, we're going to have to permit it ourselves to get it considered to be an ADU, an accessory dwelling unit. And so in order for us to do that, it's going to cost money, it's going to cost time. We're also going to have to come in and we're going to have to obviously put in cabinets and kitchen sinks and things like that, put in the range and all that stuff. Vent it out, get some kind of vent stack for the stove, things like that. And in the main house, It hasn't been lived in a long time, so it's going to need carpet and paint. We're going to have to old Formica countertops because it was a rental. We're going to have to do some stuff there. And so, in explaining that to him, I said, look, your house is definitely, it's worth the value that you're asking for it. You'll probably get it. If you hold on to it long enough, you'll find the right buyer. But for us, there's just not enough in it for us to go ahead and buy this property, fix it up. We'll end up cutting a check, writing a check, and that's not what we want to do. We don't want to do that. And he's like, I totally get it. You're in the same situation that I'm in. You'd buy this property, fix it up, and you want to maximize your dollars too. He's like, I totally understand. I appreciate your honesty. Thanks for letting me know this. Tell you what. If you're looking for fixers, I know a guy, his name is George. He lives down the street here, and he has a total fixer. I'm not going to give you his actual address. Well, as soon as he told me his name in the street, I'm like, I can find this guy. But anyway, he goes, I'm not going to give you his address, but I'm going to call George up and say, you know what, George, I know you've been talking about buying or selling your house for a while now. I found some guys that can actually fix it up for you. And so you know what? Maybe we got a referral out of that. But this is a card that I use a lot, because what's going to happen here is you have to keep in mind, you're not there to buy every single house. We can't buy every single house. You're looking for the good deals. And if there's not some kind of margin in it for you, or there's not enough room in it for you to go ahead and to make a profit, then you don't want to spend your time spinning your wheels, talking to the seller, trying to get them down on price that, and frankly, this guy also, he had no motivation. He's like, I'm going to leave California eventually. I'm not ready quite yet. This house has sat vacant for a number of years. It can continue to sit vacant. I'm okay. That's why he's doing a FSBO, and he's like, oh, gosh. He's like $50 a square foot above what the market's at. Again, my comment to him is, if you hold on to it long enough, the right buyer is going to come along. And again, it's a FSBO, so he's not advertising it to the open market. It's just those that drive by and see it, or they see it on Craigslist and Zillow. That's actually where I found it. It's on Craigslist. I knew that, but when I looked at the price and I saw what it was, because I scan Craigslist almost daily, I just blew past it. I'm like, it's not something I'm interested in. But when I drove by the property, I saw it, and I'm like, there's a little bit more here to it than what is on Craigslist, even though I did not recognize at the time that it was a Craigslist property. I just saw the sign on the yard that says FSBO. So again, going back to the King of Clubs, some kind of margin in it for us. The real reason why you want to use this card is it's a cut to the chase. It's to let people know, hey, I'm here to make money. I'm also here to help you out of a situation. And that's what I told a gentleman yesterday. I said, typically we buy houses from individuals that are, they're kind of in a situation where they need help. There's not a whole lot of options for them at this time. I said, you have plenty of options. You can sell, you don't have to sell, you can rent it, you can refinance it, you can do whatever you want with this property. And, in order for us to do something, we're usually helping one person out. And in the process, our reward is that there's some kind of margin in it for us. There's room in it for us that we can go ahead and fix it up, make it pretty, do what we have to do, sell it on the open market, and make a nice living. And that's what we do. And so that's what this card is really designed to do, is just to cut to the chase, to see if you really have the motivation there for you to be able to cut a sweet deal or not. Because 9 times out of 10, as a probably a real general, hasty generalization here as far as the market, but 9 times out of 10, FSBOs are sellers who really don't know what they're doing. Sometimes you get a little savvy guy in there that maybe he used to be a realtor or something like that, and he's just like, hey, you know what? But 9 times out of 10, they just don't know what they're doing. They're just throwing it out there, and hey, help me here. Trying to sell my house. And in a hot market, that works. When the market's on its way down, that doesn't work. You have to actually get it advertised in front of the actual buyers, and a FSBO is putting up the chance that the right buyer is going to drive by, see your sign, or that a qualified buyer is going to be looking on Craigslist. Because I can tell you this, when I'm looking for a property for myself, I'm not looking on Craigslist. I'm actually going to the MLS, or I'm looking with refined with the realtor's tools. Most of these qualified buyers are going to be already working with a real estate agent. And so that's why I say, 9 times out of 10, they don't know what they're doing. But this allows you to cut through all the BS and get straight to the motivation. What is the motivation? And is it enough motivation that there can be some kind of margin in it for you? All right, guys, if you don't have your set of flashcards, go ahead and click the link below. It'll take you on over to a site. You can buy them, and they're extremely, extremely powerful and helpful. And I mean, they're cheap too, man. I mean, I really have set these up so that anyone can, they're within the grasp and reach of just about anybody. So if you like this content, you like what you're getting, go ahead and click the like button and subscribe. Make sure you're notified when all of our new videos are coming out. This is Ryan Nickel with the Flashcard Friday. And just remember, you are one deal away from changing your entire financial future. And I will see you on the next one.